When steel fangs clash with the swamp's crushing force, the Amazon's survival rules are officially shattered. Will a wise bite to the skull or deadly twists determine who emerges from this bloody maze? Anaconda versus Jaguar. The most brutal battle in the Amazon. The Amazon at the peak of the dry season is no longer a lush green paradise. Scorching sunlight pierces through the canopy, transforming humidity into a thick, hot mist, heavy with the smell of decaying vegetation. The majestic rivers now shrink, revealing cracked mudflats and dead tributaries stripped bare of rotting wood. This is a time of ruthless selection. The water recedes, leaving behind a perilous gray zone, where the boundary between life and death is as thin as still water. In this suffocating silence, every creature must gamble its life for a sip of cool water. Amidst the stifling heat of the wetlands, the male jaguar had just finished a long chase. It had failed to capture a swift prey. Its vibrant spotted coat was now matted with mud, and its labored breathing shattered the stillness of the ancient forest canopy. Hungry and exhausted, the jaguar sought refuge in a branch of the river where the water remained still as a mirror to quench its burning thirst. It stepped onto the muddy edge, its ears perked up, listening intently to its surroundings. There was no roar of a rival, no footsteps of an enemy on land. The jaguar lowered its center of gravity, dipping its rough tongue into the cool water. In that instant, the king of the land made a fatal mistake. It looked toward the opposite bank. True danger never makes a sound. But the sensitive whiskers on its face began to tremble slightly, a warning signal of the movement of mass beneath the still water. Just beneath the jaguar's shadow, reflected on the water's surface, a long, dark mass began to emerge from the thick mud. There wasn't a single large ripple, only two small nostrils protruding like two pieces of rotting wood drifting by. It glided through the mud like a stream of darkness, closing the gap inch by inch with the terrifying patience of a prehistoric reptile. The green anaconda, having starved for 3 months during the dry season and needing a massive supply of protein to survive. The jaguar approached the shallow water, its eyes scanning the lake's surface in search of something. A moment of death. As the jaguar lowered its head, the water exploded. Huge coiled rings, like steel cables, shot up from the surface. But unlike other cats that fear water, the jaguar considered the river its ally. Its unique nasal structure allowed it to seal its nostrils when diving, transforming the underwater confrontation with the anaconda from a one-sided battle. In the midst of a suffocating constriction, the jaguar spun around with extraordinary agility. It aimed for the only fatal weak point, the top of the anaconda's skull. The 1,000-pound constriction suddenly loosened, and the anaconda writhed in hopelessness. This was the perfect evolution to deal with heavily armored or muscular prey like the anaconda. While other species take their time to suffocate their prey, the jaguar chose to destroy the brain to end the battle immediately. In contrast, the anaconda was a master of patience and pressure. The king of the land dragged the ruins of the swamp lord up the steep slope, straight into the gloomy darkness of the jungle. Their battle was a powerful testament. In the Amazon, brute force can overwhelm you, but a wise bite to the right weak point will determine who is the last survivor. Leaving the dark recesses where Jaguar lurked, that cry led us soaring to the mountaintop, where a predator with long claws prepared for an aerial massacre. Atop an ancient kapok tree, the tallest tree in the Amazon, stood a colossal structure woven from thousands of dry branches. This was the Harpy family's castle. The mother bird, with a wingspan of over 2 meters and majestic gray plumage, guarded her single chick. In the Amazon, harpy reproduction is a harsh challenge. They only raise a new offspring every 2 or 3 years. The pressure to provide protein for this growing flock is the driving force behind their most brutal hunts. The Harpy Eagle had just spotted a troop of monkeys, causing a commotion 2 kilometers away. The mother bird shivered slightly, spreading her wings wide to shield her young before launching herself into the air. The hunt wasn't just to fill her stomach, but a practical lesson in the ultimate power of the ruler of the skies. The monkeys were enjoying the ripe fruit, believing the dense foliage above was their safe haven. But the harpy's maze was designed to pierce through that complacency. Look at those feet. Its claws were up to 13 centimeters long, possibly longer than the claws of a North American grizzly bear. When the harpy locked onto its target, its brain performed thousands of calculations on wind speed and the prey's trajectory in less than a second. The alpha monkey barely noticed the enormous dark shadow falling over its head, but it was too late. the harpy retracted its wings, transforming itself into a mechanical arrow that hurtled downwards. A clean, cold, and decisive catch. The eagle soared, carrying its spoils back to its high nest, leaving the monkeys bewildered and speechless in terror. People often fear leopards or giant pythons, but in the Amazon, the harpy eagle truly holds the key to balance. Without these aerial strikes, the primate population would explode and destroy the entire rainforest ecosystem. The harpy isn't evil. It's simply the judge who keeps the rhythm of the Amazon stable. The father bird has brought the meal back to his family, but as night falls on the kapok treetops, on the kapok treetops, the harpy eagle family sinks into silence after their regal meal. Beneath the tree, the king of the land has remained silent for days. Jaguar wasn't hunting, not because it was lazy, but because it was waiting for its instincts to resurface. But today, with its empty stomach rumbling and the scent of the wilderness urging it on, a new beginning had officially started. From the thorny thickets, a chaotic cacophony of sounds erupted: snorting, the clanging of tusks, and the pungent, characteristic stench of the Peccary herd. They didn't move alone like leopards, nor silently like pythons. Wherever the Peccary troop went, the ground shook. More than 30 individuals, from the ferocious alpha males with their sharp tusks to the scurrying cubs, were sweeping through the forest, searching for roots and fallen fruit. This was a cohesive group. Jaguar, lowered its center of gravity. It didn't immediately charge into the midst of that chaotic crowd. It lurks in the shadows, moving parallel to the Peccary herd, like a weightless ghost. Watch its footwork, step by step, claws retracted, paw pads touching the dry leaves so softly that even the most sensitive hearing of the herd is fooled. Jaguar is searching for the weakest link in that defense system. It's waiting for a pig to stray from the herd or a moment of distraction from the leader. Jaguar's patience is finally rewarded. A young male Peccary, too eager to find food, has inadvertently strayed just a few meters from the main formation. A distance more than enough for a deadly assassin. Boom! Without a roar, Jaguar shoots out like an arrow. A crisp thud echoes through the chaos of the herd. The jaguar's piercing bite once again asserted its absolute power, ending the prey's life before the Peccary pack could even realize their enemy. The presence of the Harpy Eagle family atop the kapok tree acted as a regulating valve for the entire forest. If the jaguar hunted peccaries on the ground to control the destruction wrought by the white-fanged army on vegetation, the harpy hunted monkeys in the highlands to protect the young shoots of the old forest from overexploitation. A harpy's cry from above can startle a pack of peccaries, inadvertently driving them into an ambush by a jaguar lurking in the bush. This isn't a deliberate, coordinated effort, but a biological matrix where every bite, every pounce inadvertently aids the survival of another species. The jaguar may be the king of the land, but it still has to hide in the shadow of the harpy. The anaconda may be the lord of the swamp, but it still succumbs to the intelligence of the big cat. And the peccary, though weaker, still uses its large numbers to challenge any invader. The Amazon isn't a chaotic battlefield. It's a precise mechanical machine where blood flows to nourish sap. And individual death is the price paid for the immortality of the ecosystem. When you see a jaguar standing silently at the edge of a lake, you're not just seeing a predator, you're seeing the soul of a land where all life is connected by an unbreakable thread of destiny. Are you ready to explore the next harsh ecosystems with us? Click register now to become part of a community unraveling nature's greatest secrets. See you soon.
Serengeti, where every step is a choice for survival. A mother leopard protects her cub, a lion reclaims control. Tensions rise, the fragile line between instinct and power. When two worlds collide, what will happen next? Serengeti, the fierce confrontation between mother leopard and lion. Serengeti, the vast land of Tanzania, is a convergence of wild nature with diverse ecosystems and wonderful scenes of wildlife. Spread across vast grasslands, this is the roof of predators. In the quiet space, the cautious footsteps of a leopard echo on the dry grass. Each step is careful. Each movement is carefully calculated, waiting for the moment to attack, continuing the harsh cycle of survival in the savannah. Leopard. An independent, sharp and agile veteran predator. Leopards have a compact but powerful body, with prominent black plumage with apricot-shaped spots on a bright yellow or orange background. With a long tail to help balance when climbing. They weigh between 30 and 90 kg. The leopards are mainly solitary. Leopard's breeding season can take place all year round, but is most common during the rainy season when food sources are abundant. Leopards do not follow a fixed breeding cycle. They mate with their partners at any time of the year. After a gestation period of about 90 to 105 days, leopards give birth to 1 to 3 cubs. Newborn leopard cubs are very weak and blind. They are completely dependent on their mother during the first weeks of life. The mother will raise her cubs in a den or secluded area, away from other predators. The mother will devote all her care to her cubs during the first 6 to 8 weeks. The leopard cub will stay with its mother for about 18 to 24 months to learn how to survive in the wild. Every day, the mother leopard faces a challenging life on the wild grasslands. The sun is shining brightly on the Serengeti grasslands. Today, it has to go hunting to bring food back to its cubs. The target has appeared. A large herd of antelopes is leisurely grazing in the early morning. A good opportunity. The mother leopard hides in the dry grass from afar, observing every movement of the antelopes. Its eyes are sharp, focused on the prey, not a single sound, not a single unnecessary movement. Slowly it approaches step by step. Without a sound, it gently glides through the grass that hides it, approaching the herd of antelopes that are letting down their guard. Suddenly, it rushes forward quickly. The bite is deadly accurate, not giving the antelope a chance to escape. The antelope only has time to be startled. Everything happens so quickly. The scene happened in a flash. A hunt ended in silence. The leopard won the chase with its clever hunting instinct. The leopard, after taking down the antelope, stood silently in the middle of the grassland. It was feeling the victory that had just flashed through its mind. The prey had been hunted. The joy was about to overflow with a full meal for its cubs. Before it could bring the prey back to its cubs, the leopard felt a loud noise. The leopard saw a large figure appear from afar. A lioness was standing on the other side of the grass. The leopard quickly realized the danger. In the middle of the vast grassland, the leopard was brave and cunning. But in front of the lion, it was just a small predator. The lion, the king of the land, is an undisputed symbol of power. Power is the only thing that matters in the wild savannah. The lioness approached, walking slowly, deliberately. But each step seemed to hammer a nail into the silence of the savannah. Strangely, the lioness's eyes were not fixed on the fat prey. Those amber eyes scanned the nearby bushes, where the leopard's cubs were hiding. In a moment that froze time, the mother leopard realized a horrifying truth. Not the prey. It had never been about the prey. The lion had not come to steal food. It had come to eliminate a future threat. It had come to kill potential competitors while they were still in the bud. All calculations of survival in the mother leopard's mind vanished. The cold fear was now replaced by a hot flame of despair. It could not let the lion take another step. Forget the danger, forget the difference in strength. The mother leopard rushed out from her hiding place. She advanced, baring her sharp teeth, roaring a weak but angry challenge. The lion did not hesitate to attack. Its little cub fell just a few short seconds. It could do nothing to save its cub. The lion bit the leopard cub. The mother leopard stood there, full of pain. There was nothing to do but helplessness. Although it was an experienced warrior, in front of the lion's power, all efforts to protect it became useless. There was no roar of victory. gloating. Only the assertion of absolute and cruel power. Under the stifling atmosphere of the savannah, the lion left coldly, without looking back. After a period of fighting with dangers and losses, the mother leopard had time to rest with her remaining cub. Under the dense canopy, the leopard cubs rolled around and played with each other, not knowing the sacrifice. They played with their tails, chased, then fell onto the dry leaves, making soft, lively noises. The prey was still lying there, waiting, but the smell of blood had attracted an uninvited guest. Hyenas, carnivores that seemed low in the food chain. Were actually the wise and cruel strategies of the wild world. With powerful jaws that could crush bones, pack intelligence and sharp survival instincts, they did not need to hunt. Instead, they waited to rob. And this time, their target was the reward that the leopard had to exchange with blood and loss. The hyena approached the prey. The mother leopard was alert. Suddenly, it rushed at the intruder with terrifying speed. The hyena did not have time to react. The mother leopard still attacked with the strength of a seasoned warrior, chasing them away. The remaining hyena also ran away. The mother leopard stopped, panting but not defeated. She chased the hyena away, not only to protect the prey, but also to protect the remaining cubs. The cubs that she could still raise and educate. And so she did not stop, did not surrender to fate. The mother leopard turned to look at her young cubs, some of whom had survived and were following her closely. In this world, no one can wait, no one can ignore challenges. The leopard, despite losing the most precious things, still stood firm and fought to protect what was left. It leads its cubs to continue their journey, walking steadily across the vast savannah. Facing all the challenges on the path of survival, the leopard cannot stop. The late afternoon sun dyes the grass on the Serengeti savannah golden. The thin but resilient figure of the mother leopard still silently moves forward. Behind it, the surviving cubs follow, like fragile rays of hope that have not been extinguished. There is no triumph. There is no complete victory. There is only the continuation of the endless journey. As the sun dyes the savannah golden, a lone figure still walks steadily forward. It has lost. It has suffered. But it has not fallen. Behind it, two small dots of hope follow. On the Serengeti, there is no complete victory. There is only the endless journey. Where life is not defined by crowns or power, but by silent steps, continuing to move forward for what you love and protect. If this story touches you, don't forget to subscribe and follow the channel to accompany us on the next journeys.